Okay, YouTubers, space detectives, pareidolia police, amateur space sleuths, and quasi-scientific people that deny anything to do with life on Mars, you're all welcome. Today we are looking at this set of images, and particularly one of these down here, from the Opportunity rover that died back on Mars a few months back in the big dust storm. Unfortunately, it's been up there for like 14-15 years, going strong, taking thousands of images over the years, but it got knocked out by the dust storm. It's probably covered in dust now at this very moment, but there may be a mystery or a miraculous gust of wind that may uncover it one day, and it may come back to life. It's gone into sleep mode or switched itself off, but if it powers up and the panels become uncovered from the sand and dust, it may actually power itself back up again, but it's doubtful. But there's always hope, so fingers crossed on that. Maybe it will come back to life one day. But here we have it. This is Sol 3793, and the image we're looking at is this set, or this one here particularly. So you scroll down the page, links will be below for all this stuff, and the image we're looking at is this one. Okay, and we have this rather dark ridge with some big rocks and things kind of on the slopes. Okay, and you're not going to see a lot in this image unless you download it and brighten it up in your software. So without further ado, I'll show you the folder I've got. I'll show you the raw image. Now I've enlarged this. I haven't enhanced it in any way. I've just enlarged it just to make it easier to view so it doesn't pixelate too much. And the area we're looking at particularly is this bit here with this rather strange thing sticking up with a round thing on top, like a boulder on top. Okay. Now, even in the raw image here, if you zoom in, you can see that this is kind of fluffy on top. It's got like a fluffy kind of appearance to it, which is rather strange. Okay. So bear that in mind. Right, now what I'm going to show you now is the same image that's been considerably brightened up. Okay, so exactly the same image. I've added loads of brightness to this, quite a lot, probably about 50 or 60% to get it to come out. Why the image was so dark in the first place, I really don't know. And here we have the anomaly here. There's this box-like thing up here, up on the ridge, which looks very square, with a square part to it, very strange indeed. That looks like it's part of something interesting. We'll come back to that. But this is the main thing we're looking at. Now we've got here what looks like a sort of pile of rocks, but there's a head on top. Now, when I say head, it looks like a head, doesn't mean it is a head. It could well be a rock with something on it. Now, it seems to me that there's some kind of fluffy kind of material on top of this. If you look carefully, you've got this coming around here and what looks like hair sticking out. Now, this may be a case of moss. Lots of people have found what looks like moss growing on some of the rocks on Mars, and there is, okay? I've shown many examples of it, and there are what looks to be seasonal, in some areas, seasonal vegetation at certain times of year, and this may be a case of it, but if we also look down here, we've got this rather strange pointed thing with teeth on it. I don't know if you can see those teeth. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 8 or 9, maybe 10 in a row there, coming down here. Now this is just a basic brightness enhancement. I haven't really done much to this image at all. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you in my graphics thing here what I've done with it. Here's the raw image here that I just showed you. And here is my enhancement. Now, I'll show this, then I'm going to credit the people that actually found this. This was actually spotted by Will Farrar back in October 2014. Now, I didn't realise that when I started working on it yesterday. I was shown an image by a very good researcher and Gigapan creator called Neil Spence, also known as Terraform Mars. I think he's got a channel called Terraform Mars. So Neil Spence has done this of Ulysses crater, okay, and he's done a nice sort of gigapan here, and he's highlighted this particular anomaly in this little box here. So links to all this stuff will be below, so you can check all this stuff. So check out Neil Spence's Gigapan. And I've also got up here the original video. I've tracked it down. The original video done by Will Farrar back in 2014, October. So a good number of years ago now. And I think this is the first person that actually published this anomaly back in the day. And he's done a pretty cool video here, which is only how long is it? 6.5 minutes long. So it's well worth checking out. So links will be below to that as well, so you can check that out. So nice work there, Will. I've been following Will's channel for many years. I hadn't seen this one because this is really early on. But great stuff anyway. He points out most of the cool stuff in this area in a pretty cool video here. So check that out. So I'll give credit to both, obviously Will for the original find and Neil Spence for bringing it to my attention. Let's crack on with it. Also, you can check it out on Artanian TV Mars Magazine. Come along to this page if you haven't joined up already. We're almost at 2,000 members now. Only need another 7 to get up to 2,000 members. It's totally free to join up, and I'll join you up straight away. You get the free app here, which is really cool. Artanian TV app, which links to all these images and stuff, and you can get all the links and stuff you need to research this stuff if you're into that kind of thing. Or you can just watch the videos. There's links to my channel and a few other anomaly channels as well, including Will's channel, I think. Okay, so there's all that to check out. And here's the image that I posted on here. I'll just read the what I've written about it here. Either a rock with moss on top or a decapitated Martian's head wedged between the rocks. The face may be a coincidence, but many heads have been found by myself and others in recent years, especially in Gale Crater, not this particular area, but mainly in Gale Crater. Could this be more evidence of sitting mummy burial rituals like we see in Peru? I'll get back to that in a minute. So there's the original post that I put up just last night, I think. And you can see pretty clearly that there's a head with hair here, and it's wedged between these kind of rocks and pile of stuff here. Now, what this may be is a burial, and this may be a burial marker, like a grave. And you have rocks kind of piled up together, but it may not be. It may be something different. Okay, so we'll come back to that in a minute. Let me show you the folder I've got here, because I've got all the images in here. And let's have a look at Neil Spence's Gigapan clip. Okay, this is really nice. Nice colour, and you've brightened it up nicely here. You've got this big rock in the foreground on this sort of foreground area here. You've got this ridge sloping up here, which is quite high. I'd imagine this is about 15 feet or something high, or something like that, maybe 20 feet high. It looks big, but it's probably not as big as you think. It's just the way the camera makes things look bigger sometimes. And there it is. We've got the anomaly here, whether it's a statue or a burial mummy or whatever it's supposed to be, or head on a rock. There it is, and Neil's done a nice little clip of it there as well, where you can see that hair. He sharpened that up there. That looks like hair or some kind of moss growth on the top of this thing. Either, I don't know for sure. So that was cool. Let me show you a close-up again of the finished item. This is what it looks like up close, and you can see here, even in this image here on the right is completely raw. It's very dark. It helps if you tilt your screen a little bit on your mobile device or whatever, but that's very dark, and you're not going to see a lot in there unless you brighten it up like I've done here. That's a basic brightening up there by about 40%, 40-50%, and I brightened it up even more, and basically put a color filter on it as well to bring out the details. And I've got all the credits and everything in here for Will, and it says here, opportunity on Sol 3793, image credit, NASA. Okay, so there we are. What is it? Not only do we have this rather strange rock type thing here, but we have what seems to be a head with hair on it, which you can see kind of wispy hair coming around like this here. which has got transparency to it, which means that that's not solid. Okay, this is either hair or moss or something similar. Okay, some kind of plant growth. This may not be a head at all. This may not be a face. It does look like one, but it doesn't mean it is one. Not everything that looks like a head is a head or a skull or whatever. So there we are. What do you think of that? And the thing that I thought was, in a way, even more interesting was this kind of pointed object next to it here with the teeth on it. You can see those teeth there. Okay? So let's go to the raw image. Now, I'm going to brighten this up and prove that it's all there and I haven't added it, okay? I'm just going to zoom in and then start brightening this right up. Give it loads and loads of brightness. Let's go up nice and bright, up plus 17. Let's do that a couple of times. There we are, okay? So it's all there, okay? You can see those teeth there. See, look, I haven't added those teeth. They're all in there. Those black teeth on whatever that's supposed to be. I don't know what it is. And you can see this kind of fluffy, fuzzy sort of mop of moss or hair on top. You can see, well, it's got a nose here and two eyes and a face coming down here. Now, whether these are rocks either side or these are shoulders, I don't know. Could this be someone hidden behind this pile of rocks, staring at the rover? Maybe. I'm not going to rule it out. I never rule anything out when it comes to Mars because we really don't know what's going on up there at all yet. It's early days to make big conclusions, and a lot of people concluded early on, decades ago, that there's nothing on Mars except rocks and ice. But as I've shown hundreds of times before, and other researchers, there's a lot more going on Mars than we're being told. There's evidence for a past civilization there all over the place. In fact, I would say every set of images contains one or two objects that look either intelligently made or look like they may be related to a dead creature or person or whatever, or burial. And there's also buildings and plants and stuff in some areas as well. So there we have it. That shows that I'm not making this up. So all you've got to do is brighten the image by about 40 or 50%, and that's what you get. Of course, you can go much brighter again. You can keep going brighter, but what I tend to do is add brightness and contrast, because that maintains the shadows. Because if you just brighten it, you lose some of the shadows. Add a bit of blur sometimes to get rid of some of the pixelation. Just a little bit of blur. That just smooths it out a little bit. So you get distortion lines in the dark areas. But you can see those teeth there. Let me sharpen that up for you. Let's bring those teeth out there. See those? What is that? Let's undo that a minute. What is that? So it's all there. The point is, what is it? And then we've got this box up here. This looks like some kind of air duct or vent or something coming out of the ground. Or it may just be a box on top of the ground. But look at the shape of it. Crazy stuff. So there we have it. There's loads of stuff to look at in this area. And what I'm going to do in a minute, I'll put loads of clips of all these things in at the end in sequence for you to have a look at. I'll show you a few of those now anyway, just to have a quick look. Let's have a look at the brightened image again, this one, because that shows things nice and bright. There's the box up there. Look at that box angle there. That is pretty cool, if you ask me. But this thing is really odd. And you can see, I haven't added any colour filter to this or anything yet. You can see those teeth on that pointed object. You can see what looks like hair sticking out the side here, where you can actually see through it, just there. You can see a nose, you can see an eye here, and you can see an eye here. So there's two eyes and a nose. And just about make out a mouth there. What the hell is it? What the hell is this thing? I mean, like I said in that little clip from earlier, it does look like the head, like a head that's been wedged between some rocks, as if this is a kind of burial. And there's also some weird little details in here, like a little kind of bit of detail here that's very odd. But there's a lot of distortion here, and the problem is when you get a really dark image, like you have here, it's hard to enhance it and maintain the detail, because basically it's easier to get a lighter image and darken it than it is to get a really dark image and lighten it up. But there's some weird stuff up here as well. I mean, what's this? This thing here. You've got these weird kind of teeth here, look. So there's some crazy stuff in here. And as I've said many times before, a lot of these things do look like rocks initially, but when you look at them with an open mind, you start thinking, well, what if that's a fossil? Some kind of fossilized creature, or skull, or something like that. A lot of them do look like skulls. Not all of them are, of course. Most of them are just rocks. But a lot of them seem to have things growing on them, like texture. And there's some crazy stuff in here. Crazy. And these things are all over the place. I mean, as I've shown before on my channel, I've done so many videos now. Hundreds, I think I've done about 750 or something videos plus on my channel. And there's probably over 100 skulls, there's probably over 100 statues, some of them in rows of 3 or 4 that I've shown very recently. So do check those out. So there we have it. That was about it, really. So like I said, credit to Neil Spence for bringing this to my attention. Nice job he's done here. Link to the image here below in the description. Good work by Will Ferrar, who initially did the video back in 2014. Nice job there. Link to that also below. There'll be a link to this image here also on so you can download the image if you like and have a look at it yourself. Okay. There's also a link below this for the main page as well, so you can come to Artonian TV and download the image if you want to put it in your collection or whatever you want to do with it. That's fine. So there we have it. Thanks for watching, everybody. One more thing. Come and check out my new channel called Space Detective 1. If you're a subscriber to Artonian TV, do come along and subscribe to this channel. This is a backup channel. What I'm doing is I'm archiving everything that I've found, going right back, particularly my shorter videos. I've got loads and loads of videos that are only like 2 minutes long, like this one, 2 or 3 minutes long. And a lot of these are quite famous finds going back that were in the press and all over the mainstream media a few years back. So some of these are quite famous finds, but most of them are shorter videos here. So if you prefer my shorter format videos, there's loads of them here. Okay, there's about 50 videos on this channel so far. So do come along to Space Detective 1. Basically, I want to try and get this up to 1,000 subscribers so that I can become a YouTube partner and everything else. Because basically the earnings are so low on my main channel at the moment. It's only earning $2 or $3 a day. That it's a real struggle, and I do this full time, unlike a lot of people who do it part time and have a real job. I do this full time. It's very time consuming, and I spend probably 50 or 60 hours a week working on this stuff, searching and enhancing stuff and doing all the clips and everything else. So it's very time consuming, and I really need a backup channel just in case my main one has problems like it has done. I need a backup channel to try and make sure that these archives are protected and there's access for the public out there for the future, because people in the future will come back to these and say, well, actually this guy and his friends and some of his other fellow researchers had already proved that there was life on Mars many years ago, and people will probably say that in the future. So do come along, check out the links below. As I said, check out Mars Magazine, come along and join up if you haven't already, get the free app. So thanks for watching, everybody. Clips coming up now.